Once again, y'all, this is God in them streets. Make sure y'all hit the like, share button, subscribe button. Keep me producing the best possible content. I usually don't get involved with these type of things, but it's been such a buzz on Troy Ave and the Mano situation. Just recently, I took the time out to watch the Troy Ave show, which will be in this particular video. And while I was watching the show, it came to mind of how much 50 Cent and Troy Ave remind me of each other. You know, with the boisterous, putting people on the spot. I really don't know which way to go with this, because they both my young homies. I wish that they would stop the beef with each other and the nonsense that they got going on right now. But in between time, I'm going to just go through a little various videos with them and make my comments on them. So like I said, this is God in them streets. Make sure you support my channel. Get my subscribers up.
Sounds like you, and then eventually, like he could turn around and put his middle finger up at you and do something different. You see it all the time. Like you see the guys come around, they switch sides, all kind of things that go on right there in front of you.
Urban Legend 111, you know what it is, bro? Let's talk about it. Now, 50 Cent and Troy Ave, bro. 50 Cent and Troy Ave have had a crazy relationship, up and downs. You know what I mean? 50 has pulled up after Troy Ave has been shot multiple times. After, well, really, that was the second time Troy Ave was shot. 50 pulled up to the hospital just to let people know, hey, I'm standing next to this guy. You know, and it almost insinuated that if you got a problem with Troy Ave.
50 is just explaining, how him and Troy Ave got into their little controversial situation right now. And like I said, Troy Ave reminds me a lot of 50. So that might be the cause of them bumping heads. But not 50, from the perspective of being a snitch, but being in situations where things occurred and people looked at 50 from a snitch point of view, going back to, the Murder Inc. and whole Ty Black, situation. Anyway, I'm going to continue with this story on Baby 50, better known as Troy Ave.
Let's clip of how 50 Cent and Troy Ave's relationship started.
Respect, and I'll never forget where I came from. So, when Fifth see me consistently, like the reason why I had Yayo on, reason why I even asked Yayo to get on the Show Me Love record was because I felt like it needed that. I wouldn't have put that record out without Yayo on it. Originally, all I wanted was a Yayo ad-libs. Here we go now. Them shits was classic. Them the shits, like even to take it back to when me and Fifth was at dinner, I went to dinner and I told him, I gotta take you to dinner. Just as a man, I feel like I wouldn't be here getting all these money bags if you ain't start rapping, because you showed me that you could come from the street, you could do it independently, and you could get money. And
so there you go again, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Ave is giving 50 Cent his props. He's saying that if it wasn't for 50, he would have never been in the game. So let me take you out to dinner. I see that as some respect from the young homie. Because nowadays, a lot of y'all young individuals want to forget about the
Taxstone,
respect.
and I'm going to show you how this all ties back to 50 Cent in a second. So, Troy Ave does the testifying. He snitches on Taxstone. This whole situation is going on. Troy Ave been saying for years that he's going to snitch on Taxstone, getting the public ready, to see that. Like, he did a song. It came out. He said, I'm only loyal to my fam. Middle finger from the stand. And pretty much let everybody know I'm going to get on the stand and testify against this guy. Nothing wrong with that if you're a regular guy, regular civilian, and this just happened to you. But Troy Ave proclaims to be a super street dude, drug dealer, powder to the people is one of his sayings. Bricks in his backpack is one of the series of his mixtapes that's what it's called. So this dude proclaims to be a super street dude. Then he gets on the stand and testifies against Taxstone, which we see a lot nowadays from the hip hop community, right? Now, how this ties all back to 50 Cent. 50 Cent was working with an artist named Casanova from New York, right? Everybody knows Casanova.
We all remember Cass
right now,
from Flatbush.
Working with him in the past. Casanova is really close to Taxstone. I think Taxstone was even managing Casanova at one time. So Taxstone, Casanova have beef with Troy Ave. Troy Ave has beef with Casanova. When Troy Ave saw that Casanova and 50 Cent were working together, Troy Ave started making comments like this about 50.
The money, you know what I mean? So, like in certain situations, man,
Here comes the fallout between him and 50.
You know what I'm saying? And then what Ross do, he just kept working. I'm just keep working. I don't care about that.
Now, if you don't know who Pimpin' Curly is or a Pimpin' Curly skit, what that is, that's when 50 Cent was making fun of Rick Ross. You know, 50 Cent was making fun of Rick Ross and beefing with Rick Ross. And this is what Troy Ave is making reference to. Now, when Troy Ave said this, even back then, I made a comment on that video that said 50 was going to take this personally. It was like I'm psychic, man. 50 definitely took it personally. You know, so that's what 50 Cent brought up when he addressed Troy Ave and Troy Ave snitching. When he posted this on Instagram. This is what 50 said. Middle finger from the stand. SMH. Cass on his Pimpin' Curly. You gonna just do like Ross and keep working. So we knew right there 50 Cent was offended by what Troy Ave said in that statement. And he also posted this on Instagram. It's a picture of him, Uncle Murder, and Casanova laughing together. And he said, this is what pissed Nupac off. Uncle Murder, Casanova, what the F are you crazy Brooklyn niggas doing? LOL. Casanova even got in the comments and said, you better chill out. 50, that nigga's a federal witness now. You can't F with the police. Nigga will have all our asses sitting in Pelican Bay in our Denzel Washington voice. So, that's the situation.
Wow, what a statement from Casanova.
And we know 50 Cent holds the streets in the highest regards, bro. Above a lot of things, 50 Cent respects the streets.
Like I said, this is God in them streets, a continuation of the comparison between 50 and who I call Baby 50, Troy Ave. But Troy is going to explain exactly what took place that night in Iriving Plaza.
Busted in the room, and they just went after Tax. It's a fact, man. You could look from the video. When we came in the room, we got stopped at the door because it was super crowded. People take pictures. I did peace signs and people, what's up? I'm smiling. I'm shaking hands, kissing babies. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking through. When? Where? Who? Where? Fuck all that. Back to the real story of the aggressor. So when I come in the room, we're walking. My hand is on Bang's shoulder, because that's how we move. When we come through, we make sure that, you know, I'm with him while we walking through. Somebody in front of us parting the way so we can get down to T.I.'s dressing room. The door that we enter is right here. This is the small VIP. We walk up the stairs, we go into the small VIP room where Chano was at, and he was at his, they was opening up, whatever. Now you go from this room to the next room, right? It's a door. It's a small.
Chano was made known
10 feet
through his reference nowadays.
After we get stopped here, a bunch of saying what's up. Okay, yo, watch out, y'all. Troy Ave coming through. Cool. We walk up some more. As we walk up some more, I hear what's popping. What's popping 2 times. Loud. I'm not paying attention. I'm thinking niggas talking. I'm just whatever. I'm still saying what's up to people, but now mind you, I seen Aston over there on the walk-in. I seen Aston over on the walk-in, right? He just did a little. I ain't say shit, nigga. I'm not fucking with you, nigga.
Now remember, the beef started because 50 started running around with Casanova. And from what Troy is explaining right here, he had his hand on the shoulder of his man Banger, and all he heard from Taxstone is what's popping. What's popping? We all know in the streets, no matter what hood you come from, what's popping mean, yo, is you ready to get it on? So like I said, once again, God in them streets, I'm going to evaluate this, and I hope y'all help me evaluate it and see it from the perspective that it need to be seen from.
People, but now mind you, I seen Aston over there on the walk-in. I seen Aston over on the walk-in, right? He just did a little. I ain't say shit, nigga. I'm not fucking with you, nigga. You know, I seen you on somewhere social media hanging out with niggas that been hating on me, niggas that been stalking me. You feel me? Niggas that been talking down And now, mind you, Casanova, his pictures, we could pop up the pictures of him being around, being a dick rider. Niggas let him hang around and shit. You know what I'm saying? Let him hang around through 8 Ball. Shout out to 8 Ball too, man.
That's that 50 shit.
Shout out to 8 Ball. So now, mind you, this ain't no busting in the room. We walking, it's a hold up.
Right.
Cool. Now we hear what's popping 2 times. I'm not paying that shit no attention because there's mad people talking. Niggas yelling, whatever. You know when I paid attention? When I hear Banger, God bless the dead, say what's popping back. That's when I get on high alert. Like,
Right.
I know my man, why his tone is like that.
Right.
So as you can see, his man Banger, that's aggressive, that's a real BK warrior, said to him, what's poppin'? In response to Taxstone, keep saying what's poppin'. Any real gorilla under those scenarios, you know, is gonna step up to the plate for his man, especially if he know his man already got beef. It's already in the atmosphere. I can feel it in the air.
Casanova right there, this voice saying what's popping, it gotta be Ratstone.
Right.
You feel me? Cool. Nevertheless, now I look over and he's like bluffing. Now mind you, Banger told me, so I'm still behind him. So he like bluffing, what's popping? And holding his waist. Doing all this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you not a pussy nigga, if you any type of in the know or anything, y'all know that's an act of aggression.
Yeah. You brandishing at that point.
You feel me? Off the rip. Man, in cases of a nigga say what's popping, that's an act of aggression.
Right.
Now the thing with a lot of these people, what they can't understand is, how then can you look over, see a nigga in his waist, on the hip with it, saying what's popping and reaching, and then not cower, and then not have fear struck down from your head to your toes, and then not turn around and walk away, and then not back down, cause I'm built different.
Once again, did you hear what this young warrior Troy Ave said in the heat of battle? He said that once he seen Taxstone with the burner in his waist, he knew it wasn't no other way out. Because if he would have turned away, walked away, put his head in between his legs and act like nothing wasn't happening, then Taxstone would have been on him and terrorizing him from that point on because he showed a sign of weakness. Let's continue.
A lot of these people, what they can't understand is, how then can you look over, see a nigga in his waist, on the hip with it, saying what's popping and reaching, and then not cower, and then not have fear struck down from your head to your toes, and then not turn around and walk away, and then not back down, cause I'm built different.
You hear that? Built different.
I'm built different. When it's fight or flight, I'ma always choose to fight.
Right.
I run in a burning building and I save the people, you hear me? I'm not with none of that. So at this point, back to this aggressive story, at this point, Banger turns around, looks at me, and Banger says, yo, I'ma rock him. I wink at Banger, do your thing. Not letting Ratstone know I'm aware of him, or there's no argument of words between us.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so Troy Ave is describing, you know, how he winked at his man Banger and sent him on the mission because it was nothing else to do in that given situation. I know he wished at this given time that he would thought it over and let Taxstone keep playing his fronting game with his pistol because he would have had to shoot him if they would have went up on the stage. But at that given moment and that type of aggression, and you used to being in the battlefield and you don't want to look like a chump, those is all the things where youthism take over. So once again, what I want y'all to get out of this is, like I always say, one split second could change your whole reality in life. And this is what took place mainly for Banger, who I say rest in power, rest in peace, my young warrior, because you only attacked the situation the best way that you always knew how.